It's the 9th of August 2025, and as you can maybe hear in the background, I'm around aeroplanes because I'm at this lovely little aerodrome down near Aldinga where you will find the business called Adelaide Biplanes. If you're interested in doing a sightseeing tour around this area, this is the place to come. I'm here to tick off a massive bucket list item, which is to be a passenger on an aerobatics flight. So, should we see how that went? So here we are about to taxi out in the plane we're going to go up in, the red one. It's the Great Lakes biplane, which is a really well put together little plane. A lot of people say it flies just as well upside down that it does the right way up. That being said, there is a weight limit of 95 kilograms for the passenger, so just be aware of that. Fortunately, I come underneath that. And we're just gaining some altitude here, and we're actually going to fly out to being over the water. I didn't actually ask why that was, whether it was a scenic issue or whether there's some sort of safety issue, but I suspect it's because over the airfield it can get quite busy, congested with other air traffic. So needless to say, it's also nice and scenic, so happy to go out there. And as we're going out, just a few things you're probably going to notice. We're going to be gaining and losing altitude somewhere in the realm of 500 to 1,000 foot quite regularly. And we're just about to start our routine here. And what you'll notice is because of that, the ambient pressure changes. So I'm basically needing to mobilize the eustachian tubes that lead to the middle ear. And I'm a bit congested on the day, but being a free diver and a scuba diver, we have all kinds of little tricks that help us equalize our middle ear. So I'm doing that so I can hear clearly what the pilot's saying, which leads me to the next thing, that I'm having an open conversation with the pilot throughout the routine, and he's just basically checking how I'm going. He says it's very common for passengers to, they start off 100%, then it's 95%, 90%, 80%. He said that's totally normal. He said I'd just modify the routine to however they're feeling. We do this every day, but I'm actually faring pretty well, and I'm happy to say that the other thing that you'll notice is I can't get the smile off my face, and as I'm pressing the press to talk button to speak to the pilot, I'm saying yep, still 100% here. And bring it on. And that being said, I do remember that I think for the rest of the day I felt a little different. Now, how can I describe that? It wasn't like I was unsteady or I had balance issues, but the only thing I can compare it to is the first time I ever went on a yacht. And I've spent a lot of time since that, surfing at sea, being on other yachts, racing in yachts, having a boat of my own. I never really felt it the same way, but the first time I went on a yacht, back when I was in recruit school in the Navy, I basically felt a little bit different, like the world was moving for the rest of the day. So it was a bit different, but I was quite fine. And, look at me, I'm having a good time out there. And we're just going through a series of maneuvers and getting pushed through a series of positive G. And I did a little bit of research prior to this and realized that, on severe positive G maneuvers, it can really drain the blood out of your head, and people have been known to pass out. But I asked him, I said, how much are we going to go up to? He said, probably about 4G. I thought, yeah, that should be fine. But what I would do down the bottom of the maneuver when the G was the highest is I was tensing like the upper body, which is instinctively something I think I do when I go-kart and go into corners. So, yeah, there you have it. And, look at us out there. We're over the sea. It's beautiful. It was a pretty overcast day. I thought it might be raining. And here we are actually having a bit of negative G. I'm having to pull my glasses back on. But notwithstanding it being overcast, it didn't rain. So it's lovely and clear. The water's beautiful and blue. And I just can't get enough of this. I'm looking around and I know that, you know, all too quickly this experience is going to be over. Now, I don't know the names of all the maneuvers he put us through. Obviously, there's a series of loops, and there's also a series of maneuvers called hammerheads. And I think, you know, don't quote me, but I think it's basically when you go straight up and you almost stall the aircraft and come down on the side. But you'll see us do a few of those and just suddenly drop, you know, 1,000 feet and things like that. And also what he does is he flies us upside down for some time. And I will tell you, what's keeping you in the aircraft with the seat belts is you've got these lap belts, and they're the first one you do up. You do those up pretty firmly, and then you do the shoulder straps. The shoulder straps aren't done up nearly as tightly. They're done for comfort, but it's the ones down below that keep you in the aircraft. And as you can see, I'm moving up a little bit there because we're upside down, and the belts have the full weight of me in them at the time. It's really good to be able to just look around and enjoy the experience, as if it's like, you know, a roller coaster at an amusement park. Something we don't have in South Australia. I've often said, why don't we have an amusement park here? Why don't we have some roller coasters? But, you know, it doesn't really matter. You can go and do experiences like this, and, you know, in beautiful places like Aldinga, and this is so much better. There you go, just sitting upside down there, watching the world go by. That plane loves it. That plane has no problem being upside down whatsoever. And right now we're having quite a bit of negative G, and rolling back to be the right way up again. So much fun. I could have quite happily stayed up there and done this again. And bearing that in mind, you're probably asking, you know, what is the going rate for this? I think it was $420, but then I added the filming on top of it just so I could show people the experience. So in total it cost me $495, because you can't take your own camera on this plane. You can on some of the others, and you know, you'll be encouraged to do so. They've got a range of sightseeing trips you can do around the same area. You're just not going to be, you know, going upside down and that. And it might suit you more if you're going, you know, like with somebody else and you want to see it at the same time. This is a one-person experience. Here we are. I think we're doing a series of 4 rolls in a row here. And one of the things we do near the end is we basically lose 1,000 foot, and he turns the engine right down, and basically, yeah, we just stall and fall down the tailwind. That's the time when you really want to know your pilot is very good, because if anyone else was doing that, and it looks like it's totally out of control, just spinning around, but this gentleman, Martin, knows exactly what he's doing. He's a very good pilot, and it was a real privilege to be flying with him that day. I think we are actually getting reasonably near the end at this time, and well, we'll basically have to start heading back over the land and heading back to the airfield. as I said, just at the end, we're going to lose a bit of height. And right up near the clouds at this point. And there we go. We're basically just coming down in this sort of spin that he's deliberately put the plane into, and dropped as he's explaining to me 1,000 foot just like that. And I'm loving it. That was just so cool. Easily one of the most memorable experiences in my life. And will I do it again? Yeah, absolutely. Of course I'm going to do this again. And you can do too. It's you know, in South Australia there aren't too many places you can go and have an aerobatics experience like this. And there I am, shake my head, can't believe how good that was. Taxiing back, and I will say also, Adelaide Biplanes is a really good little cafe that you can watch the planes come in and out from if you don't want to go up yourself. And you know, it's a great place to have something to eat and drink afterwards. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was my experience with Adelaide Biplanes doing an aerobatics flight and crossing off a massive bucket list item.